Okay, it is time for back and buys. Getting a little experimental with it. Uh, I talked about this in the cardio video yesterday, but I saw a clip of old Mike Mentzer, and he was really hyping up close grip underhanded pull downs, right? And doing them in a way where you focus on, flexing your biceps instead of your lats to actually move the weight. So obviously, I could try to relax my biceps doing a close grip pull down like that and only work my back. But I tried it light on just a normal cable stack like 2 days ago. And I was starting to feel pretty good just in terms of like the contraction. Like compared to just, like hammer curls at the bottom, like the amount of tension or not tension, but like the intensity to which I could fucking squeeze, it was noticeably good. So I'm gonna try that after, well, pretty much at the end of back, right? So my basic plan is I'm gonna do back like normal, probably 11-ish sets, and the first movement for buys will be those close grip pull downs. Now I'm going to the Y, so they don't really have an actual lat pull down, but they do have I can probably just use a cable stack. It'll feel fine. And I'll sit down on a bench. So I'll try that. And then I'm starting to think that may be sort of a good transitional movement, right? So let's say maybe the first, maybe I do 9 sets of a back, right? 9 sets all in with pull downs, rows, pullovers, whatever. And then those last 2 sets, or kind of, a couple of sets in between back and buys, will be those close grip pull downs. Because it's definitely be working my fucking biceps. But I'll also get a little bit of lats coming into play, which, in a sense, will sort of let me hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Because if it's the end of back, I'm really just trying to finish off whatever pump I've built up, get some blood into my fucking lats. So I'll be able to do that while assisting myself in the last couple reps of the pull downs. Because just the nature of it, my biceps are going to give out before my lats. So let's say I do 10 reps and I'm working like 90% of the rep is being done by my biceps. Maybe 10% is being done by my back, my lats and my back, just because it might be hard to take it out of play. Once my biceps get more and more fatigued, I'll still be able to get some partials by assisting myself with my lats. At least that's how I'm kind of imagining it. So for one thing, I'll start off arms with, I'll start off biceps with a pretty heavy movement. Right? He's really hyping up the bicep activation, because not only are you bending at your elbow, but also at your shoulder. He could explain it better than me, but this is just sort of something where, I heard somebody explain something, and in my mind I said, okay, that's actually starting to make some sense. That actually sounds like something I should probably be doing. And I thought that enough that now I want to kind of try it out. So typically I'm not a huge fan of back and buys, but this, honestly, really just this one movement intrigued me enough to try it out again. Which will also let me have, tomorrow's going to be chest, and the day after will be tris. So I'll be able to add hamstrings at the end of my tricep workout. So I can also have a quad only day. So assuming that this lift and triceps and hamstrings feels good, this will probably be the new split. So I'll get into that more later on, whatever. Let's just get hyped up for back. And biceps, whoa. Okay, so I usually jump straight into the first working set on these videos. I don't show the actual warm-up. So I think I'll try to start adding that in for those curious. So I'm about to do back, right? What's gonna get fucking worked? My forearms a little bit, biceps a little bit, obviously my fucking lats, traps, whatever. So usually I'll start off with a couple sets of just light pullovers like this. Like these are not working sets, right? Your warm-up should not be counted in the actual workout, right? I'm just trying to sit here getting a little bit of a little bit of activation of the muscles that I'm getting ready to target, just so it feels a little bit more comfortable to jump into like, 6 or so plates on the hammer strength row. But this shouldn't tire you out, right? Your warm-up should not tire you out. I'm not doing any work. I'm just trying to make sure that once I jump onto whatever movement I want to start on, and I start with a lightweight, do a few sets there, and then go a little heavier, and then go a little heavier, that, everything's going to feel good. So for me, back doesn't usually require much warm-up, because it's not a lift where I find myself dealing with really any aches or pains. Like, pretty much I could, even without doing any of this warm-up, I could jump straight onto those hammer strength rows, do a few reps of a plate, 1, 2, 3, and then, my first set of 6 will pretty much feel perfect. But for something like chest, I think the warm-up is a lot more, let's just say, necessary. Because for me, I never get fucking hurt on back, but chest can be a little funky with your shoulders, everything else. So I guess next time I do chest, I'll show you the warm-up there. But I've been sitting here for a couple of minutes. I just wanted to show you a little bit of the basics. But let's go start the actual first working set. Okay. Probably 2 more of those. So if you've used this machine before, then you're probably familiar with the fact that you're strongest when you're holding way up here, right? Because this handle is further from the little point of rotation of this weight, so you've got more leverage. So instead of, like when I do bench, usually I drop the weight. So usually, I do the first set. If I'm feeling super strong, that could be 4 plates. But the second set, I've got to drop it to at least 365. And then after that one, I could maybe take it down to 3 plates. So after only 2 sets, I've had to drop the weight by a considerable margin. But what am I doing here? The weight's staying the same. Well, for one thing, I'm kind of strong in this movement anyway. Like for a first set, I would have preferred 7 plates, but these ones are so thick, I can only get 6 on. So instead, well, you get the idea. So instead of changing the weight, right, first I started off holding on here, and then here, this being the lowest handle was the hardest. Now I'm going to do a set up here at this higher handle. So, the weight, like if you were to, let's say, have a scale in my fingers or on my hand, with this same amount of plates, pulling from this lower handle would read a higher number, a higher amount of force than up here. So I'm sort of doing like a mechanical drop set, or drop in weight. You get the idea. So I'm gonna finish the last set holding this higher handle. It'll also feel a little bit different, so getting some variety in the training, and then move on to some other movement. Okay. That's enough. I'm going a little bit against what I preach, because usually, I'm telling you, fucking straps are a necessity on every fucking pulling movement. But I'm at a little bit of a, not a crossroads, but I got a little hiccup in the training right now because, well, basically these handles are too close, right? So I need to like kind of wrap them around a couple times to make sure I get a full range of motion. Or, well, not even full range of motion, but so I can actually get a good stretch at the top without bottoming out the machine. So I can't really get straps in there, not comfortably at least. So whatever, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I do recommend straps. It's going to help you feel your back way more. I guess once you're a little bit more experienced, it's a bit easier to still use your back while holding on to bare hands. But I definitely prefer straps. Okay. Let's do a couple more here. I like this kind of pull down because, in a sense, it's almost like doing a cable press with your chest, right? Because doing cable or doing some kind of normal bench, for the most part, like let's say barbell bench, your hands stay the same distance at the top of the rep and the bottom. But when you do a cable press, your hands converge, so you can squeeze extra hard once you get to the top of the movement. Now with this lat pull down, my hands are also coming close to my body and then further out at the top. So it just feels like a, obviously just solid stretch and then really easy to squeeze and try to focus on pulling my shoulder blades together at the back. But two more. Okay. Let's do something else. I'm not sure what yet. I was going to jump onto a seated row, like a seated machine row, but it's taken. So instead I'll do at least one or two heavy single arm pullovers. I mean, the stack goes up to 80, I'm going to do 50. So, sometimes I'll do these lighter, really kind of focus on the squeeze. But for this set, I'll try to push the weight. Obviously still squeeze, get a really good burn. So execution, I'll put one hand on the handle like so, put the other hand up here for stability, and then I'm just going from here to here and trying to squeeze my fucking lat as hard as possible. So let's get two of these done. Well, let's get this first one done. Not much to say about the reps. Full stack, just fucking try to destroy the mid back. Okay. That feels okay. I don't really love this movement right now. I'm gonna move on to another lat focus something or other. Actually, I'm going back to the pullovers. since I'm gonna try the close grip pull downs on here for buys, that's sort of gonna be, you know, bicep and back movement. Because by the time my buys get like seriously fatigued, my lats are gonna start to take over. So I feel like those two will kind of count as working the back and the buys at once. So I think I'll call back at 9 dedicated sets, and then we can move on and see how those close grip pull downs feel. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I've been sitting here trying to figure this out for a minute, and I think this would be better on an actual lat pull down. You know, having to do it on this cable stack with a seat, it's not the same. But I am starting to feel a little something, especially at the bottom of the rep. I can feel my fucking biceps really squeeze. So I'm gonna try 2 of these, and fuck, if it feels like shit, I'll just try it next time I'm at a gym with an actual pull down. But I do think there's a little something going on here. No straps, no straps. Because now I want some bicep and forearm activation. Yeah. Okay. Holy crap. Oh. I'm feeling some fucking work on the biceps on those. I think the weight's a little... When I put 2 plates on here, it gets a little bit sluggish. Like the cables kind of start... Like it feels like something's rubbing that it shouldn't be. I'm gonna drop it to just 1 extra plate, but I do like this. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. So with these, the fatigue kind of sneaks up on you. Like, you know, the first 5 reps or so, I'm really, like I squeeze it, but after 10 or so, it just fucking hits me and it seriously starts burning. For the most part, I'm pretty much under the belief that, like, if you're doing a curling motion, or I guess a fucking bicep bias pull down motion, just from going from straightened-ish, you know, extended to contracted, you're gonna work most of the bicep. But I can definitely feel it already that I'm getting a lot of work up here on the outside, you know, brachialis, pretty much what people in the bro science bodybuilding realm would kind of refer to as like part of the peak of the bicep. Not the brachialis, but I'm talking about like just the outside edge. So I think I'm just gonna fucking bust out like 3 or 4 more, get some set experience under my belt with these.
Oh. You really just kind of have to try this for your fucking self. I mean, this is like the complete opposite of what I always fucking try to give advice on with pull downs. You know, typically I'm trying to tell you, oh, well, make sure you keep your biceps out of the equation. So I guess if you want to know how to do these and feel your biceps, take the opposite of my normal pull down advice. But once you can start to feel it, I mean, it's a good contraction. This is definitely going to the routine from now on. Fuck. You know what? Fuck it, I lied. Let's uh let's put all my eggs in one basket. I'm just gonna finish off buys with these fucking pull downs. So I gotta count how many clips I've recorded so far. I think 6, maybe 7. So I'm just gonna go all the way to 11 with these and see what kind of pump it elicits. Okay. Oh my god. All right. And with that, this experimental bicep day is complete. Well, back and buys. So by now the bicep pump is probably kind of deflated a little bit, but let's go check it out anyway, see what we're working with. Okay. I've been having a little bit of technical difficulties because I've had this cable for a while and I think it got a little worn out, but whatever, who gives a fuck? That's the behind the scenes, behind the scenes. That's some behind the scenes shit. We don't need to talk about it right now. So, yeah, I mean, that's a fucking whole new movement, whole new vector of growth for the buys, which I didn't know I was slacking off on. You know, everybody talks about, chin-ups being a super good bicep builder. I always kind of thought it was BS. Well, not BS, but I just didn't want to do it because you're working your back and your buys at the same time. So I don't know if I'd want to do chin-ups per se, because then I'm really getting a lot of back activation. But those underhand pull downs, dude, that's a fucking different kind of squeeze that I haven't felt before. So let's see if there's any bit of back pump through the shirt. But then we can check see what those pull downs did for the biceps. Feels pretty pumped, but whatever. It's been like 45 minutes since the peak pump. And I didn't really want to come down here to do like a mid lift pump check. I felt like that kind of threw me out of the zone. Okay. Ooh, all right, we're working with a little something here. Oh yeah, fuck. Oh. Oh. All right, How's the back lat spread? I'm a little bit extra red than normal. I got a sunburn. But, dude, I mean, does this bicep pump not speak for itself? I mean, holy shit. So, cannot touch the shoulders. Very good sign. And dude, just fucking, woo, woo. Oh my goodness. I'm definitely, so what I'm really feeling with those is not just like stuff down here on this inside part, but I'm feeling a lot on this like outer edge, like a lot of work up here, and probably a bit closer to the shoulder than normal, right? Like usually when I'm doing curls, obviously I get a full bicep pump, but doing them like that with those pull downs, I'm feeling a lot more fatigue up here in this upper section of my bicep than normal. Now, who knows? Maybe it just feels that way because it's the first time I've ever done it. But, I mean, this bicep pump did not come from nowhere. Actually, I know exactly where it came from. It came from one fucking movement. So, that is definitely getting thrown into the routine. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta freaking say. So, I forgot, well, I didn't forget, but I'm gonna make the cluster dextrin shake when I get home. So I better get in the car quick. But oh my, I just want to sit here for another fucking second. Dude, I love being pumped, man. You've seen it fucking, well, technically not 200 times. I think there's only like 150 videos or so. So some of those gaps are due to rest days. Some of those gaps are due to, I mean, I wasn't recording lifts daily in the beginning. But fuck, how many lifts have I done so far? Not including like, you know, gymnastics and other kind of like diving workouts that I was doing when I was younger. Fuck, it's been about 5 years of lifting, and I mean, I seldom took rest days. From the beginning to now, I have never gone more than, I don't know, maybe 3 days without a lift. And that's excessive. I couldn't tell you the last time I took more than even 2 days off in a row. So 5 years, 365 days a year. Let's just be generous and say I only lifted 300 times a year, which I know I know for a fact it's been more than that, but I don't want to fucking do the math. 1,500 lifts, you know, and let's say even just an hour a lift, 1,500 hours. I know it's been more than that, but you know, just for simplicity's sake. How many hours of fucking League of Legends do you have clocked in? You could be right here, but instead you've got 1,500 hours of League. I don't know, man. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just pointing out some numbers. Let's get the fuck out of here. All right. That was sick. That was much better than I expected it to be. Better than I expected it to be. Better than I expected it to go. You get the idea. Looks like back and buys is on the menu for a while now. Well, I don't know. I guess I have to see what it's like with legitimate bicep movements. Well, I don't mean legitimately, but others, right? But that felt sick as fuck today. I definitely want to try that on an actual lat pull down because, for one thing, that cable stack was far too light. Like, that's a movement where you're going to be pretty strong on. You need a lot of weight. So I think an actual pull down stack, well, I'm not even sure it would feel better, but I just want to try it and see how it feels. But fuck, man, that's definitely going into the bicep routine. And yeah, so my logic was I thought that I was going to get a lot more lat. Oh, dude, fuck.
even just sitting here like flexing, like it actually hurts. Whew. I'm not sure that's exactly like an awesome sign, whatever. But that was ooh, biceps feel different than ever. So at the very least, I hit them in a completely different way than normal. Which I mean, for me, that's a fucking rare feeling. I've done a lot of different exercises, lots of movements, all sorts of different drop sets and whatever. And this is the first time where I've been kind of like genuinely surprised by a new movement. So fucking keep your mind open to new ideas. Holy shit. But yeah, let's get back to what I was trying to say. Uh, what the fuck was I just trying to say? Oh yeah, no, I remember. I expected there to be a lot more lat activation during those close grip pull downs. So that's why I cut back a little bit short. I only did 9 dedicated sets for back because I thought that I was going to get a lot more back activation doing those. Which, maybe cumulatively across all 11 sets, I did. But really, I didn't feel my lats at all. It was fucking like all biceps. Which, hey, that's fucking sick. So, I that was kind of the that was sort of the reason why I didn't want to do those close grip pull downs on like an arm day because I thought I would get some back activation. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. That's like it was all biceps. I'm not sure if straps would have made it feel better or worse. Maybe I'll try straps next time. But in a lift, if you're doing a movement and it's a simple muscle group like I for chest, I wouldn't want to do all pressing. Maybe I would like I've had chest days where I've done like maybe 8 sets of, let's say, incline barbell or something. Like I've done a lot of sets, more than normal, but I'll still want to finish off with flies, just because it's I think the chest requires at least 2 different kinds of stimulation during your lift: heavy pressing and some squeezing based fly type movements. Like a fucking pec deck. But triceps, biceps, shoulders. I mean, even fucking quads for me. I've been staying away from squats kind of because they sort of fuck with me. But I love leg extensions, hamstrings, fucking whatever. If a movement just happens to feel like just like fucking sick, like bread and butter, you're fucking getting a crazy burn, you're moving some weight, you feel strong on it, and it feels good. I got no problem with fucking spamming it. I mean, you just saw it happen. I did an entire bicep workout where I only did one fucking movement, and I am perfectly satisfied with it. I'm actually more satisfied with it than I thought I would be. So, if you just feel on it with something, amen. Put all your eggs in one basket, dude. Keep doing it. Now, that's not to say you should only do the same movement over and over and over again. Right? Your body needs different types of stimulation to grow, and some days, hey, I mean, maybe one day I try those underhanded pull downs for buys, and fuck, man, I'm just like not feeling it for whatever reason. I'm just not getting to my bicep. Then guess what? I'll just move on to something else. I've probably got at least 20 different curls that I've got at my disposal. Let's fire some off. Okay, no, I'm not gonna. Whatever. I don't know. Alternating. You get the idea. Once you've lifted for long enough and you've seen enough people do shit and you've tried new shit long enough, uh, you just know what's gonna fucking feel good, right? I could jump. This bicep workout was completely opposite to even I think the last one I did, or maybe no, 2 bicep lifts ago. So that would be 2 arm days ago. So this lift, all I did was it was just those underhanded curls, or underhanded pull downs, whatever, and that was it. Whereas 2 arm days ago, my bicep workout was 5 different movements, and I only did 2 sets each. Like I was doing curls, and then preacher curls, and then machine curls, and then easy bar curl. I don't even remember at this point. It's been a while. But having some diversity in your training, it is gonna do you good. And even if for whatever reason, like let's say I try a bicep day, you know, I try some new shit, and I'm like, fuck, man, that didn't give me a good pump. I didn't really feel that good. Um, Typically, I never get. Well, it's kind of hard for me to have even a fucking bad workout at this point because let's say I start off with dumbbell curls alternating. You know, I warm up to it, I do my first working set, and I'm just not, for whatever reason, like the pump, it just doesn't feel good, right? I can't exactly explain the legitimate reasons behind why a movement may not feel good one day for me, but you know, fucking, I don't know, whatever. Let's say I do a set of alternating dumbbell curls, heavy, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't like how this feels. Put them down. Let's move on to something else. You know, I'm not just gonna, I'm not gonna go and do a workout, and if it doesn't feel good, I'm not just gonna keep doing it. Right? That's a benefit to having kind of intuitive training once you've lifted for long enough is you can tell whether or not something, you know, feels good for you at the time. If you're a beginner and you've got a workout written out for you and it tells you fucking incline hammer strength press, 3 sets, you know, whatever rep scheme weights, I don't know, whatever, 3 sets of incline hammer strength press, followed by 2 sets of cable flies, followed by 3 sets of dumbbell incline press. I don't know, whatever. You get it, right? Any kind of workout written out for you. Having that written out as a plan before you actually are in the gym, you know, you've got no way of knowing whether or not that movement is going to feel extra good for you, or if it's going to feel like trash. And the beginner lifter, you know, he's locked in. He may not know exactly what kind of movement to move into or to substitute in his workout plan. Or maybe he just doesn't even know the feeling of when a movement is really clicking for you versus when it's not. You know, part of that is going to come with getting better with your mind muscle connection and really manually being able to flex the muscle that you're trying to work. Because, you know, for a lot of people, it's hard to even feel their back or their chest. I thought I heard a fucking siren going off. It's hard for them to actually feel their chest contracting or their back fucking tensing up in a pull down. You know, it just kind of feels like exercise, not like they're really working out and hitting the muscle that they're aiming for. So, in terms of, you know, trying to think about what movement you should move on to instead of what you're doing, that's definitely more of like a, you know, at least a year in type deal. Because as a beginner, you just got to try new shit in the sense of getting different exercises and workouts under your belt. Right? As a beginner, you're trying to learn what it feels like to, you know, bench with reasonable form and do a pull down and maybe start to feel your lats firing. I mean, fuck, man. Some guys, I get comments that really kind of disappoint me. Well, not like, it's not like they're disappointed, but just like the fact that the comment was, you get the idea. Like they'll comment like, oh, I've been lifting for 2 months and I've never got a pump. I feel fucking bad for you, dude. You got to change your training style. Talk to a guy that you know lifts or has lifted for longer than you. Maybe get some insight. To go to the gym and not get a pump. Fuck, man. That hurts. That hurts me. That hurts me to hear. But we're back to the crib. Let's think of some closing words. Blah, blah, blah. I know you didn't do your cardio today, but we don't even have to talk about that. Yeah, so I'll probably keep this split up for a little while. This new one. So instead of doing an arm day, I'm splitting up arms and I'm splitting up legs. So if you missed it when I was talking about it earlier, I've been doing legs, chest, back, arms, and then no rest day, repeat. For you, I mean, fucking man, if you need a rest day, take one. I just rarely feel the need. I never have, even when I was a beginner, you know, fucking 170 pounds. But now it's going to be quads, back and bis, chest, tris, and then hamstrings. So on that day, triceps is going to be the priority. I'm going to hit tris first, and then I'm going to get hamstrings at the end. Because I think, you know, my legs, my hamstrings are definitely more developed than my quads. They're not like overpowering, but I want that dedicated quad day just so I can really fucking spam them and maybe try to get a little bit of extra intensity, which will then translate into potentially extra growth. So I'm gonna go eat, take my vitamins, eat some more, shower off, and go to bed. Fucking simple. Cardio tomorrow. Hopefully some of you guys are doing it with me. I've got it's hard to have faith that you will, though. I hate to say it. But I'm out of here. I'll fucking see you next time.